Hello, everybody. My name is Ray. Welcome to the Evangelical Dark Web. Today, we'll be catching up on the news from the Labor Day weekend. I didn't do videos on these issues yet because of the holiday weekend, but now it's time to get back into the flow of things. And certainly, the biggest stories that I've not done videos on are the ones I published over the weekend. The first one is about Preston Sprinkle defending Matt Chandler. So that is a Matt Chandler update. I've done a couple videos on Matt Chandler already. Don't forget to catch those and watch those as well. And you can do that by subscribing to Evangelical Dark Web. And the second one is about Rosaria Butterfield being based. And she just blasted the SBC. This one got the attention of Woke Preacher Clips, who promoted my article on this. Much thank you and shout out to that. So let's talk about Preston Sprinkle first. He basically states that Matt Chandler simply violated the Billy Graham rule, and this comes from a Instagram post from Rekka.Wretch. And just so you know, I don't think everyone here is quite aware of who Preston Sprinkle is. Preston Sprinkle is a revoice type. He is a side B theology proponent, so he is someone that wants to promote an acceptable form of homosexuality within the church. Clearly, this is an unbiblical doctrine, but nonetheless, Preston Sprinkle has a lot of cred in Big Eva. It just there's not much bringing him down, unfortunately. So, but here's an Instagram post, and this comes from the fact that Matt Chandler is apparently speaking at a conference that Preston Sprinkle is the organizer of. So there's your context, and the post goes something like this, and from this has been verified that he sent this on his Patreon. Hey friends, just wanted everyone to know that I've looked extensively into all the stuff involving Matt Chandler and or on the Village Church. I've talked to Matt twice and talked to the woman who's been on staff at the church for over 18 years. A woman who's been on staff at the church for over 18 years. I can't share private details, but I will say that so much of the way popular media, secular and even Christian, is portraying it is pretty bad, and that even the church's messaging framed it in some pretty negative terms that could be misconstrued. The coarse joking was jokes about alcohol, not sexual innuendos or lewd jokes. And the big issue was that the DM relationship seemed too familiar for someone that he didn't know terribly well in person. He basically violated the Billy Graham rule. So as you can see, the headline, not clickbait. The only difference is I say simply and not basically because that's a better headline. He basically violated the Billy Graham rule. This is according to Preston Sprinkle, who has a vested interest in maintaining that the legitimacy of a conference that he's throwing. So basically, this would further add evidence that the Village Church abused the church discipline process. The church disciplined someone that did not actually commit a sin, that broke an extra biblical rule, that is the Billy Graham rule. However wise the Billy Graham rule is, it is not the law of God, and therefore is not subject to church discipline. That's really all I got to say about that. And this would also make the person who raised the issue to the church a moral busybody who is possibly guilty of gossip. So that is this first story. You can go on and check that out at Evangelical Dark Web, or you can just say that I totally gave you the inside scoop. The second one is about Rosaria Butterfield blasting the SBC for redefining abuse. Now, again, you don't see this every day. You don't see someone in Big Eva, and Rosaria Butterfield is Big Eva. She blasted the SBC for the Sex Abuse Task Force report, and that's pretty huge. That is huge. So, with that said, let's just watch the little clip. This comes from the Conversations That Matter podcast that came out August 22nd, so The thing about John Harris is I never really watch him on time because I just stack him up and listen to him while I'm working. And, if I need to get a lot of work done at my day job, I listen to John Harris. So there's a shout out to him as well as Woke Preacher Clips, who promoted this article that I wrote at Evangelical Dark Web. And the section that I wrote about is this little section right here.
But nonetheless, reparative therapy might be the clarion call for what real victims go through, real abuse victims, not what I read in that guidepost report. That I think really is a very dangerous posture to take. So I really appreciated the way that there was real care given to real victims. The other thing.
So, again, that is an in passing comment, but it was very directly targeted at the Sex Abuse Task Force report, its context, and the Southern Baptist Convention for, in general, redefining abuse to include women who have sex with married men and people that aren't necessarily sex abuse victims, because that is a very specific meaning as well. So that is pretty significant, in my opinion, that you hear Rosaria Butterfield, who I believe is Presbyterian. She's PCA, I believe, not SBC. I know she's not SBC. So for her to come out against the Southern Baptist Convention's descent into feminism, pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. You did not see that type of statement come out of the Conservative Baptist Network. Maybe you might have seen someone like Rod Martin say something. But overall, the Conservative Baptist Network bent the knee to the redefining of abuse, and their followers did as well. I mean, do you hear Tom Askell saying anything nearly as bold, in passing or not in passing? And the answer, I think, is no. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Rosaria Butterfield putting the SBC on notice in an in passing comment is just super significant. And yeah, I decided to write about that. And obviously, Woke Preacher Clips also thought it was significant as well. Uh, so just a couple of articles that I'm running at Evangelical Dark Web. Otherwise, we got a couple other stories going on. Is David Anderson a false teacher? I might do a video on him later in this week, but a lot of articles going on at Evangelical Dark Web. So subscribe to the RSS feed as well. And if you want to support Evangelical Dark Web, you can do so with our Patreon like system for as little as $5 a month at evangelicaldarkweb.org/join. That is linked in the description below. Have a blessed day. Let me know what you think about what I think, and I will catch you on the next one.